So today we're going to do something a little bit different, and this is a 2012 Polaris 800 Rush Pro R, and that I just picked up yesterday on, found it on Facebook. Mint condition was how it was explained, but as you will soon see, it's not exactly mint, although it's not in bad condition really, but you can see the mud flap here had been sucked up into the track when he was driving and chewed that up, so we'll have to get another one of those, I think. The strap that clips onto the bar here, I guess it was put on with a rivet, it's torn off. It kind of looks like it was stored outside because you see everything here, everything's all rusty. Now I don't know whether that's from driving down roads where there was salt and then the salt sat on it. A little bit of a chew on the seat here. All the nuts and bolts on the outside of the machine are rusty. I've taken them off and I'm just working on spray painting them up now. We'll get all that sorted out. What else was there? All the ball joints rusted. I've soaked them down with WD-40. Windshield torn off, and so I got one of those on order. We'll have that next week. All the grills in the front are all rusty, again from salt from the road. Not horrible. And then inside I see all the clips all rusty again, more salt. Missing battery. And oh yeah, spark plugs, which, what did I do with them? These were the spark plugs that were in it, so I don't think they've been changed too frequently. And what else? I think that was about it. So nothing too major, just to see everything's just kind of weathered, little bits of rusties here and there. So I want to go through, clean things up. We'll check all the belts. I see that down here on the belt there's some chewed up stuff going on there, so maybe it's time to swap that out as well. And I do have another belt, so we're just gonna mess with everything here and see how she goes. Picked up a new AGM battery, pop that in as well for the electric start. So let's get into it. That's awkward. Wow. That sucker is in there. Gotta get the right tool for the job. Alright, so got it out. I took it off because the rivet would fall inside and then it would just rattle, wouldn't come out, so I had to pull the rivet out of there. So then I cleaned up the bolts and just put a little bit of spray paint on them. So I think what I'm going to do is let that dry for a minute and we'll take out the battery box. I'm dropping the nuts and bolts all over. So battery box is all rusted to heck, so I'm going to set up and we'll take that out next. Alright, let's see if we can get the battery box out. There. There. And then it looks like the other one more on the bottom with the nut driver. What size, we don't know. Yep. Can't turn it with a screwdriver though. Oh yeah. A little bit of skin, not bad. This guy must have been using this to haul salt. A lot of salt. Ooh. I found the strap. Thought I was going to have to get another one. That's awesome. That was worth taking it all apart right there just to find that. Okay. Gonna clean this up. Put her back in. Nice little brass brush, works awesome. All right. I don't know if this had a coating. That's better. Lots of rust on this thing. I don't know whether I should put some paint on it or what. How about we reinstall that, hook up the battery, and see what happens. Yeah, much better. Not so darn rusty. Battery. She's a snug fit too. It's like no room. Negatives up here. Her. So, not happy with that positive lead. It's pretty dirty. That's a positive. That's a positive. And this brown wire, I have no idea. Either it's a negative or a positive. I don't know if this is some kind of aftermarket jimmy rig. So let's take this off. that explains that. Now what in the heck would you want that for? Oh well. Rip it out of there. That makes more sense because I couldn't figure out why the heck they'd have so many different wires here that you wouldn't be able to get on the battery, that they didn't integrate into the wiring. Ooh, that looks good. Nice soft brass brush just cleans that up. A small screwdriver in there, I think. Where's it going? She's going. Okay. Let's see if something lights up. How come nothing on the dash lights up when the key is on? Does that mean that other one is a positive? Don't know. Fire it up. See what happens. I know that all the gauges work when it's running. Okay, didn't like that, so we got to do some investigating on what that brown wire is. So let me check that out, and I'm going to put these bolts in the back. We'll rivet this on, and then we'll take the hood off and see what's going on under the hood. Awesome. Yeah, that's the biggest rivet I got. Let's see what happens. Ooh. That worked perfect. I don't like that. One bolt gone. Two bolts. Not really sure I'd want to be doing that in the field, but that's promising. probably a connector underneath that's got this all tied in too, I'm sure. Ooh, big connector. The light. I think the smart thing to do would be to disconnect the battery too. Take the ground off. Okay. Show you what that connector is. That guy right there. I'm gonna have to two-hand that. Okay. That looks like it. We'll see if she lifts off. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. And while I'm at it, got the hood off. Pulled the clips off here. Pull these out. They're all rusty. So we'll polish those up. I actually pulled one out, polished it already, and threw some paint on it. So we'll let that dry. Gonna get this other one done too. It's amazing how much everything rusts up on these things. These are the clips holding it in, all rusty. Anyway. So I'm going to clean this up, throw some paint on it, and then we'll put them back in. wrong one. Let me move down one. Yep. Allen key it is. Well, after 100 and I forget how many there is, 130 or something like that. Everyone was a fight. Actually, not everyone. Sometimes you can get them out, but last two. Nope. Yep. Cut this guy off. Wants to bind in there. Kind of cut it, take the piece off, twist it with the channel locks. And the drill on it. Then try and get the nut out of this socket that's stuck in there. Then the washer that's overheated. And then, gotta roll it around and pull all the picks out. That should be far enough. I'd say that's good. Nothing like one of those flying out, hitting the rad. See ya, heat exchanger. So it's another week later, and got the windshield in from Royal Distributing, and actually looks pretty good. And hopefully it's going to be fairly simple to install, but you know how that goes. So gives you a package with these rubber grommets, and it's got a threaded piece inside. So got to install those and the holes on the side. So I guess we'll get started with that. We want the drill to get away, go flying into the headlight. Okay. Now there's two more holes over here. I don't know if that was something else he had on there, mirrors or some crazy thing. So, so I guess we'll have to see about that. Now I do see more screw holes here. Which align with not even close to there. Everything else lines up, so obviously you're gonna have to do something there. All right. This is just so I can see what happens over here. I think I'm gonna have to re-drill. So it's not an exact match. Loose, so we have some adjusting. Yeah, gonna have to drill more holes. And after a phone call, 2 more screws. Now we got to figure out where to drill more holes. What the heck? Just fill this thing full of holes, eh? Has to be just right. Go. And then next week I ordered a float for it. It's the biggest problem with these floats, just like the Sea-Doos, they get waterlogged and then they don't read, which is what I'm having an issue with this one. And like a $10 part, but they don't stock it. They all do it. Kind of amazing that a company that makes the floats can't make it float. Kind of got to push in on these as you're turning them, or else the boot will pull through. Typically these come with a coating on it too. I suspect that someone bought this and then it didn't work for them and they returned it. And missing a cap as well. This thing's been open. Might have some more of those caps somewhere. I'm hoping. Let me go on the look. My bad. Was stuck inside one of the black caps. See, I have a negative thought in my head already and blaming other people. And that's really not the case. Okay. That looks better, right? Hey. Okay. All right. So that's what's involved in putting a windshield on a 2012 Polaris Rush Pro R. They couldn't have thrown enough names at it. Well, we finally got a little bit of snow, and it's the end of January, but I guess it's time to go for a little test run. Just put a little pipe and a hose clamp on there just to hold the GoPro stand. So I guess we'll back this thing out. I have it on wheels on the front because it scratches up the driveway pretty hard, but of course, you know, we've took all the picks off, so that's not destroying the driveway or the garage floor, which is all chewed up from there from the old machine. So I think I'll start her up, back her out, open the door. Whoops, leaning on it when I was working. This thing pretty vibraty, I guess. The camera slide keeps sliding up and down. The microphone slid off. So we'll have to refine that if we're going to do a little bit of ripping them around. But that's her. So remaining project is the fuel float repair, which I picked up a couple of tools I need off Amazon, which is right here for removing the fuel line, and a wrench for the removal of the cap for the what do you call it, fuel injection pump, and fuel float. So that's coming next. Till then, see you on the next one.